everyone, and we are into the new year. And with this new year, I am back with my book recommendations for 2024. So let's get started with the first book. So, the first book which I have for you is Remnants of a Separation by Aanchal Malhotra. So, while I was trying to find a book for myself on Amazon, I bumped into this book and I was purely attracted by the cover of this book. It is just so beautiful. And it was an impulse buy, but what a great luck in this impulse purchase. Now, this book is based on oral histories. It covers 21 stories of people who were affected by partition. This book covers the objects which these 21 people carried with themselves while they were running away from their home, while they were trying to cross the borders through this huge migration which was taking place. And the stories start evolving around those. The best part about this book, which I find, is that the stories are so authentic, they are so genuine, and they just not cover individuals who came into India, but actually people who chose to go to Pakistan. So it includes people who are now living in Pakistan and living in India, and also people who were born during the British Raj, British people, and have moved back to England during partition. So I think it gives a very wholesome picture of all those people who were affected by partition. The second book which I have for you is Krishna. The author for this book is Pranay. So I got this book for two reasons. One, it was during a time when I was in a phase of my life where I was feeling a little anxious about certain things which I knew were outside my control, and I was looking for a book which was in the lines of spirituality, or the theme was spirituality. And second, I was curious to find if I could see or observe an intersection of psychotherapeutic tools or techniques with spiritualities, and which could actually also help maybe some of my clients at work. I think the book is very simple, it is very easy to read, it is a very light read, and it does leave you with a very nice feeling, it leaves you with some form of positivity and hope. So I think all in all, it's a nice, easy, short book to read. Third book which I would like to recommend is Highway to Swades. Now this is by Bhairavi Jani, and again the cover is just so beautiful. Now this book is a non-fiction book where Bhairavi travels the length and breadth of India with her three friends and tries to explore and observe different parts of our culture. Through this book, I think she helps us realize the core values which all Indians hold across the globe or within the country, and also makes us realize the cultural heritage which is so rich and deep in our country. And the third most important thing, I think, which the book tries to reflect is, I think, how Indians are innately so entrepreneurial in their being. So that spirit of enterprise, that spirit of entrepreneurship is quite deep rooted, which is very well reflected and narrated through the book. I think this book is a great addition if you are a budding entrepreneur or a seasoned entrepreneur, or anybody maybe who wants to know a little more about India. The fourth book which I would like to recommend is Short Stories by Satyajit Ray. Now this is a book which I read on my Kindle, so you'll be seeing an image over here. Who doesn't know Satyajit Ray? We all know what a brilliant filmmaker he was. His stories are full of depth. They always have a takeaway to hold on to. These short stories in the book are truly amazing. There are 49 stories. The book is approximately 700 pages. So they are short stories, but it may take a bit more time to finish the book. Each story is a mix of quirk, humor, and human emotion, and a little takeaway which leaves you with a very feel-good factor. So if you're looking for something which has depth, but also easy to read, I think this is the best book. You can easily pick and choose a story which you want to maybe read. So I think it would be a great addition to your book. I am personally a big fan of short stories because it gives you a lot of variety. Fifth and the last book is People on Platform 5 by Clare Pooley. Now, this is a book which I read on my Kindle again, and it was such a fun book to read. The main character of the book is Iona, and she is like a 55-year-old woman who works at a magazine, and she writes columns, and she considers herself as a magazine therapist. And she takes the train every day to work, and there is where she meets the other characters. So the story is narrated through the six characters which are there in the movie. So you get to hear and see each of the stories in the book. Now, the story of each character covers different themes ranging from ageism to cyberbullying to relationship to loneliness. So it gives you a very wholesome feeling at the end of the day. The book is a very easy read, it is a quick read, and it's super enjoyable. And I think it's best read when you are traveling or in transit, because the whole story or the book is around taking the tube which is there in London, and where these characters they meet each other. So a super fun book. Do consider reading it. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So, here were my 5 recommendations for books which you may want to add to your collection in 2024. If you did find any of the book interesting, do consider adding it, and do let me know how you find these book review videos at the end of the year or early new year. And do consider subscribing to my channel or following me on Instagram. Hopefully, I'll see you soon or more interesting videos. Until then, goodbye and have a wonderful year ahead.